So, as for the question earlier, how to lose belly fat after a C-section, or some people call it a pouch, like a kangaroo has a pouch, a mother's pouch. Now, the great news is, with consistency and patience and dedication, it's possible to lose this pouch. Nothing is impossible. Now, there's 3 things you need to make sure you do. First thing, obviously, you need to ensure it's been at least 7 to 9 months since your C-section before you even think of getting back into fitness. Secondly, make sure your doctor has given you all clear to go into exercise, and you just have the all clear from your doctor to exercise. And thirdly, you need to literally make sure that you listen carefully and take notes and be consistent with what I'm going to tell you now, as this will definitely get rid of the pouch, only if you're consistent. So now, the routine itself. What is the routine? So there's 2 ways of actually losing fat. First way is clean diet, and the second way is a fast metabolism. Many of us have a friend who's skinny as hell, slim, too slim, and he may eat or she may eat more than both of us put together. And how is this possible that this friend gains no fat, yet he eats a lot? Now, this is because he has a fast metabolism, not necessarily a clean diet. Now, clean diet, if you had a clean diet now, what will happen? Loose skin and all of this extra essential fats and stuff won't be, well, you do need essential fats, but extra fats other than essential fats won't actually be on him if you had a clean diet. So he'll look ripped, not just slim. So now, the clean diet itself we'll talk about in a different video, nutrition video, because I've got another question to do with that, so I'll talk about clean diet and the nutrition. For now, let's talk about how to speed up the metabolism, because that's the main factor that actually gets rid of fat. So very first thing you need to do is literally, lost the plot for a second. So first, literally begin. Remember, when I tell you always, when I give you advice, ask your doctor before you practice anything. Yes, that's the best way. So first of all, we need to begin by walking. And remember, no dieting at this stage. No dieting, especially if you're breastfeeding. A woman who's breastfeeding, she needs to ensure she's taking minimum of 1900 to 2100 calories so that she produces good quality milk for the baby. Otherwise, the mother and the baby suffer, so don't make yourself and your child suffer from dieting. So yeah, so no dieting at this stage, we just talk about metabolism raising. So first of all, you begin by walking. If you're breastfeeding, you walk after breakfast, and if you're not, then you walk before breakfast. But don't delay your breakfast. Never ever delay your breakfast. What I'm saying is make time for it before breakfast. Literally go for a walk before you have your breakfast, but don't delay your breakfast. If you can't, then have your breakfast first, then go for a walk later. But try to go for a walk before breakfast, yeah? How you begin this is literally 15-minute walk. So first of all, you want to begin by walking for 15 minutes. And at what rate? So it takes many of us, I would suggest, buy a watch which tells your heart rate. But if you can't, then the best way to tell is when you're able to speak. Yet, like if somebody's walking with you, you're able to speak with them. That's 60 to 70% heart rate. A little bit heavy breathing than that is going above 70 to 80% heart rate. You don't want to go into that. So 67% heart rate, 15 minutes every day. You want to do this for 2 weeks first of all, after getting all clear from your doctor. Now every 2 weeks you want to increase 5 minutes. So after 15 minutes, you increase after 2 weeks 5 minutes until you literally. So once you get to 20 minutes, now you want to increase weekly 5 minutes until you reach an hour of walking at 60 to 70% heart rate. Now that you're walking for a few weeks at 60 to 70% heart rate, and you've been walking for at least 2 weeks for an hour, your pelvic muscles and your ab muscles should be kicking into action now. So what you want to do is you want to add some ab exercises. Now make sure, when I tell you, always ask your doctor before you do crunches, you know, any leg raises, you know, ab related exercise. You want to ask your doctor, as a C-section really like destroys the muscles within the abs and the pelvis compared to a normal birth. So you need to ensure that your doctor gives you all clear for your crunches, ab related exercises. Now yes, what was I saying? Yeah. So if it's hard to plank, like, you know, if it's hard to do crunches and stuff, then you want to try go for a plank. Try go beginning with a plank or modified cobra. Some call it cat stretch. And the main important one is pelvic tilt. If you don't know this, I'll tell you these exercises. Just ask me which ones you don't know of. Now after a few weeks, say 4 weeks of doing your abs and walking every single day, your pelvic and your abs must be kicked in for you to move on to some pelvic exercises, so that you may stronger not only your abs but your pelvis as well. So the next stage is literally what was I meant to say? So the next stage is interval training. Now the main thing is, like I've said every single time, ask your doctor every time. Especially if he gives you all clear, don't worry about it, don't come back to me again. That's okay, you can carry on with what I'm saying. But if he tells you don't do this, don't do that, then you always want to go back to him for advice. Whatever I tell you, especially what I prescribe you in my videos and advice, always go back to your doctor, yeah? So now you're going to move on from walking for an hour to interval training. So what you've been doing all this time is called continuous training. Now you want to move on to interval training. So how you do this is literally, first of all, you want to begin by going onto a bike. So you do interval training, so they're called boxer sprints. Interval training boxer sprints. It's where you go hard for a few seconds and you relax, or you go at a less pace for a few seconds. So basically you ask your doctor if you can sprint. So after you can sprint, you can even do this on the treadmill if your doctor allows you to. But I will recommend beginning with a bike and then moving on to the treadmill for interval training. So how you do this is literally, you want to begin by ratio of 2 to 1, which basically means you rest for a minute and go as fast as you can for 30 seconds. And you want to try to do this 5 times for about, so you do 1 minute slow pace bike and increase the intensity, and you want to go for 30 seconds. Or you want to go for a little pace jog and then sprint for 30 seconds. That's called interval training. So now we're moving on to continuous, speeding up metabolism even more now, into continuous, from continuous into interval training. So now we're at the ratio of 2 to 1. So we're jogging for 1 minute and sprinting for 30 seconds. We do this 5 times. Yes? So make sure you get at least 5 sprints into your workout beginning. Now you do this for at least a month. After a month of doing this, you want to keep adding on 10 seconds every single week until you are able to do 1 to 1, which basically means you rest for a minute and go hard as fast as you can for 1 more minute. So you rest for a minute and you go hard for a minute. Rest for a minute, go hard for a minute. And at this time, you're going to increase the intensity or the sprint to 10 times. So make sure you're doing your sprints at 10 times. And make sure at this stage your diet is beginning to get clean. Not really dieting, but you're eating healthy or have a good portion, like I said. And now, after this stage, you're going to move on to the next stage, which is literally, the next stage will make you a fat burning machine if you combine it with a clean diet, which means you most likely end up with essential fats if you're consistent with this for a few months, which is the last stage. Now, once you've got your ratio 1 to 1, every few weeks, so basically you're sprinting for 1 minute, you're stopped for 1 minute. Now, after every single week, you want to add 10 seconds to the sprint, so that you reach the ratio of 1 to 2 now, where you are running for say 1 minute and resting for 30 seconds. And when you get to this stage, you want to increase slowly from 10 times to 15 sprints. Now this is the ultimate stage with a fat burning machine and with a clean diet. In the next stage, I will explain to you if you make it to this stage and I see results. So begin by taking before and after pics and send them to me. Danish Dragons way. www.danishdragons.co.uk. Insta Beast Mode, walkbeast.mode 121, and Snapchat Z1D21. So this was to answer the question how to lose the belly pouch after a C-section.